Hello and welcome to Spotlight on Education. I'm Dr. Jon Kopko, Superintendent of the East Brunswick Public Schools and your host for the program. Today we are at East Brunswick High School and I have two special guests with me, Mrs. Mary Jane Smith and Mrs. Priscilla Vimislik, two of our media specialists here at the high school. And our program today, we're going to take a look at the equipment that our students are utilizing to do research projects, the technology that's available to them. And what I would like to do initially is to explore why it is so important to have this type of equipment available to our students.
We are very fortunate to have available several outstanding reference tools for our students to use. Many changes have taken place in the Media Center over the last few years, especially in our reference area. We now have microcomputers, Laserdisc players, and CD-ROM workstations. Our students will soon be using an online card catalog and circulation system. These tools allow our students to acquire skills that will enable them to search for information in several different formats. Most of our students will attend colleges and universities where they will need these skills and have access to these kinds of tools in order to be competitive and to feel comfortable in using these different formats of information. We need to provide our students with opportunities to use these technological sources as part of their regular reference and research work. All of our students are required to do research papers in all three grades, in English and in social studies, and they also do other research work in different subject areas. The use of an electronic source is one requirement for these research papers that they do.
The CD-ROM workstations, the Columbia Library System, and the Video Encyclopedia all offer research experiences which challenge our students, as well as provide unique opportunities for our special education students to be successful users of the Media Center. Research that would easily have taken an hour in the past can now be accomplished in 5 minutes. With technology, less time is spent in searching for information and more time is spent evaluating the information. Our students use the InfoTrack system at the East Brunswick Public Library and will soon be using their online card catalog. We want to be able to support various technologies in both locations to provide easy transference of skills from one location to another. We will now show you how each of these systems operate, and you will be able to understand how easy it is for our students to access current information in many formats. We have selected the student demonstrations in Tiananmen Square in China for this purpose. Okay, the first piece of technology that I'd like to demonstrate is the Columbia Library System online computer. This is an online card catalog where students can look up books in the same way that they can use the card catalog. It offers access through author, subject, and title. The first thing I'd like to show you is an author search. We're going to look up the author Asimov. We'll find that we have 31 books by Isaac Asimov. Now, this is handy for students who want a book by a certain author. We can go through these books one at a time. We'll find some nonfiction books and some fiction books. We can also check on the availability of books. Once a student finds a book that they're interested in, they can check whether or not that book is indeed on the shelf. Now here, this book is on the shelf. This saves them the time of running to this shelf to check on it. It's a very convenient thing for the students. It can also, the students can also search by title, and what I consider the main search strategy by subject or by keywords. Now I'm going to search by mixed keywords. Keywords are the main words in a search strategy. If I were searching for science books and typed in science, I would get anything that related to science, including science fiction. Now we might not want science fiction, so I could type in science, not fiction. And this will pull up all the books except science fiction books. Now I'd like to do a short search on Tiananmen Square. I'm doing a keyword search, which will search not only the titles, but all the subjects. I'm just typing in Tiananmen. With the computers, you don't have to type in the whole subject. You can just type in one word or as much of the subject as is appropriate. We're coming up with 2 references. And now we have 2 books, Legacies, A Chinese Mosaic, and China Rising, The Meaning of Tiananmen. The student can actually walk away with a printout, as before, and find these books on the shelf. So this is a really easy way for the students to do their research.
As Mary Jane mentioned, we're going to be looking for information on Tiananmen Square and the student demonstrations there in different formats. The first one I would like to demonstrate to you is the Video Encyclopedia of the 20th Century. This is a series on 42 laser discs, which contains various film and television clippings from the late 1800s through 1988. What I show you here is one of the laser discs that the student will use. They simply take the laser disc, insert it into the machine after looking through the background information on the topic. What the index will do is tell the student on what laser disc they will find the information, on what side, and the chapter. The index also gives the student some background information on the topic that they can use, and it will also tell them exactly what will occur in every segment on the laser disc. So what we will do now is we just close the drawer, and using a remote control, once the first screen appears, we will select the segment on the Video Encyclopedia that will show us the student demonstrations in Tiananmen Square. Okay. As soon as this starts to play, we can select the chapter that we're looking for. What the student can do now is take this segment from the Video Encyclopedia and put it onto a regular video cassette and use that in the classroom as part of a research presentation. The next system I would like to show to you is our Compton's Multimedia Encyclopedia, which is available on compact disc. The entire Compton's Encyclopedia, which you can search in various formats, is available on a small compact disc this size, which we put into the compact disc player. What we're going to do now is look for Tiananmen Square again in various formats, and I'll show you how a student can sit down and look for this information. The first one we'll do is an idea search. We will click onto this area of the computer screen, and we will look for China. I have already typed that in. By pressing enter, what the computer will do is search through its index to find the closest match to that word, which is what it's doing now. It says idea search, and you have to wait until it comes up with now. It will give us a list. Once again, I will move the mouse down to China, click on there, and we will have an article on China which will appear. Okay. The next thing we can do is close this, go back to idea search, and if a student now wants to put in Tiananmen Square, the computer will find the match for China, but this time out of an encyclopedia article that on a screen will appear to be over 300 pages. It will move right into the segment that deals with the student demonstrations that took place there. So we're now on page 275 of the article that is 317 pages. And by clicking on the arrow key, we can move through this encyclopedia article to get to the part where the student demonstrations are discussed. We just have to continue to click through this. What the students can then do is move down to the print icon, which is on the bottom of the screen. And we will get this screen and it will ask the students if they would like to print it and what segment of pages they would like to. And what they will get is a printout on the computer of the part of the encyclopedia article that they're interested in for their research report. We can close this now. And there's a little camera here, which will give us a picture. Okay, and a caption, which tells us that this is a leader of China. Okay. Once again, close this. Now we can move to the Picture Explorer part of the encyclopedia. And there are 3 different ways to search. You can describe a picture that you want to see. A picture finder will let you see pictures by choosing a caption from a list, or you can just tour through many of the different pictures that are available. If I select Picture Search, again, I can type in China, and the encyclopedia will look through its picture file and give me a list of various pictures dealing with China. We can have regions of China, control of China, which is a chart. Gives us the period of 1941 and a historical perspective on China at that time. You can simply close it again, go back to the list, and select any of these other pictures which are in this encyclopedia. Okay. By closing it again, we could move over to a researcher's assistant. And this is a section where there are many different topics listed: the written word, the human body, entertainment, from inner Earth to outer space. And if we select people and places, again, we'll have a list of different areas of the world. By clicking on China, what this does now is gives us a little background about the country. And what it's doing is it's asking a specific question or series of questions that can lead a student to different research topics. And what it will suggest is that, I'll pick this one, the world is a big deal. It will now give the student a background question, and it suggests that by going back to the main menu, the student can use various parts of the encyclopedia to select answers for that question. So you can see that this has many different ways that a student can search for information, and is really an exciting format with the pictures. There are atlases, charts, graphs, and maps included in this. The next CD-ROM workstation I would like to demonstrate to you is called Knowledge Bank on CD-ROM. This is a series of many different compact discs that we can insert into the compact disc player, and the student can make a selection from different programs that are available. The first one that I'm going to show to you is the Time Almanac on CD-ROM. This one CD-ROM contains all of the news stories from Time magazine from the year 1990. In addition to that, it has all Man of the Year cover stories and many selected articles from 1934 to the present. There's also a statistical abstract available in it. You can locate the fax numbers for your senators. There's a lot of different ways that you can search through this for information that has been published in Time magazine over the years. I'm going to, using the keyboard, move down to make the selection to use the Time Compact Almanac, press Enter, and it will automatically load the CD-ROM into the system. To use the system, what we can do is move over to Search. By pressing Enter, it gives us a choice of searching the whole compact disc, just the Time magazine, or the Compact Almanac. So I'm going to select the entire CD. Once again, put in Tiananmen Square. My By pressing enter, the computer will begin to search for any articles that are located on the CD-ROM where those two words will appear. Then the student will make a selection from the articles that are given, and they can browse through many different articles to find one that's appropriate for the research that they will be doing. Again, using the keyboard, we'll move down to one that's called China, Beijing Spring. By pressing enter, the computer will automatically bring up the article from Time magazine, which discusses the Tiananmen Square. The students can scroll through this just by pressing the arrow key. Information is given on the top from which issue this article appeared in, and the students can then print this out the same way that they did with the Comptons or any of the other workstations that we have available, and use this information for their research report. Okay. By pressing escape, we can get back to the menu, and if the students would like to, once again, look for another article, almost instantly the computer will select that article. It is certainly a much faster way of looking for information than if you had to use other types of indexes and locate the actual magazine article itself and then copy that on a copying machine. What I'm going to do now is get out of the Time magazine. I just move over to quit, and then it asks me if I want to. I say yes. I'm going to remove the case that contains the compact disc and insert one that has a World Almanac on it, so I can show you how an almanac works in a CD system. Just take the compact disc, place it into the case, reinsert it into the machine. Now I'm going to make a choice on the menu for the ToolWorks World Atlas. Okay, at this point we have loaded onto the CD-ROM the Software ToolWorks World Atlas. And what I'm going to do is select East Asia on a map of the entire world, and by clicking on to East Asia with the mouse, we now have a map of China which will appear on the screen. I can move up to the top of the menu bar, and by pressing on B, we will be able to zero into the area of China where the student demonstrations took place in Beijing. And we move this scroll bar on the left-hand side. A cute little hand appears as we move through this. Keep moving until we get to the area of the alphabet where Beijing appears. Let's go one more. Okay. And we click on that scroll, and the screen will now change so that we have a close-up of China with major areas and cities in China. We have Beijing located right in this area.
The next piece of technology I'd like to show you is InfoTrack, which indexes magazine articles. Since magazine articles are one of the prime sources for information for our students, this is a very important piece of technology. The first thing we do is enter our topic, Tiananmen, into the computer. I don't have to enter the complete topic in, just part of it. Now, since Tiananmen Square is not a valid subject heading, it will take you to a C reference. It takes us to Beijing, China massacres. And this is important because students will search by what they're familiar with, not by the actual subject headings that are in the computer. Now here we find 58 references to the Tiananmen massacre. Now I've printed up 4 and found the magazines that correspond with them. This is how easy it is for our students to find information from this computer. They can get an abstract, which is a very short paragraph, just a few sentences that tell you what the article is about. They can print out these different articles and walk away, as I said, with a list, a bibliography that they can use for their research. And they do have the actual magazine articles literally within a few minutes. So this is one of our major sources for the students, and one of their favorites, I have to say. Newsbank is very similar to InfoTrack, except that it indexes newspapers. It indexes over 250 regional newspapers, like the Star-Ledger, excluding the New York Times. It's very easy to use. We enter our topic in the same way we do with InfoTrack. And again, we have a C reference because Tiananmen isn't a valid reference. Now here you can see a number of articles about Tiananmen Square. I did print up a number of them, a page full. The student can very easily walk away with references for his topic. The information is found on microfiche. These are all newspaper articles, and they have to be read on a microfiche reader printer. And a student can print out their articles very easily. I did print out 2 articles about the violence at Beijing. So you can see it, as in InfoTrack, Newsbank is very easy to use and very easy to retrieve information with. So here in East Brunswick High School, we do have a great deal of information technology, which makes research for our students very easy and very rewarding.
Well, I'd like to thank both of you for a very interesting and informative program. And I'd also like to thank you for the excellent work that you do here at East Brunswick High School, with our students. I think all of our media specialists in the entire school district do such a fine job with the students, and it's so important to their education and to their development. To the audience, I'd like to thank you for watching and would invite you to be with us again next month when our program will focus on the music and the art program in the district.